Good morning, everyone. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're calling in from. My name is Jessica Pierce, and I am the CEO and founder of Career Connectors, and we are thrilled that you all are here today. We are in for a phenomenal event. So many great companies, great information. We have some surprises today. So you are in the right place at the right time. And what we would love to have you do is get started by going ahead and introducing yourself in the chat. So if you could all open the chat box, it's the icon on the bottom of your screen. And if you haven't been on chat in the last couple days, you will notice there are tons of Zoom updates. And so we are seeing some new things today that we did not see just 2 days ago. So Zoom is always interesting and updating things. So just know that you might be like, oh, that's new. But open up the chat, introduce yourself. Let us know where you're calling in from, and then, your target job, target career. Something else I would love for you all to do is sometime today to drop your LinkedIn URL into the chat. And I'm going to put some instructions in the chat on how to do that. But basically, you go out to your LinkedIn profile, and if you go to your profile page, and you can get there I get there by clicking on my picture. So you click on your picture, it will take you to the profile page. And then you just copy the URL that's in the search bar. You copy that and paste it right in the chat. And that is a great way to connect with each other because we are at a virtual event today. So this program today is brought to you by AZ Careers Now. And this is a partnership through Career Connectors and then the Greater Phoenix Chamber Foundation. And so we are thrilled to be in this partnership and be running these career expos and career fairs for the last couple of years. And we are excited to be able to offer that to you today. All right, so we do have everybody on the call muted. So please stay muted during the call. We have a lot of people on the call. And so, but the way that you can engage is through the chat. And so that chat option again is on the bottom, and I see so many of you introducing yourself. Karen, Mariana, good morning. Hi, Terrence, Nicole, Laura, good morning, you guys. Welcome. We have Mesa, Phoenix, lots of people from Arizona, obviously, because that's where we're based. California, good morning. Peoria and Elizabeth, good morning. Angel from Surprise. Good morning, you guys. So many of you. Thanks for introducing yourself, and please do so on the chat icon at the bottom. Then for the display today, we're going to have two types of presentations today. We're going to have keynote speakers and hiring company speakers that are going to be talking for a few minutes each. And then we're also going to do a panel. And so when you are looking at your display, if you look at it in gallery view, it will show all the speakers, but then it'll also, but then you can also choose speaker view, which shows speaker in presentation. So likely you're gonna want to go to the top and click on side by side speaker view. That will give you the PowerPoint and the person that is speaking. And then once we pull the PowerPoint down, it'll show the full gallery. So that's probably the view you want. It's on the top right hand of your screen, and it's called side by side speaker view. Okay. Also, today, we at the end of the call, after all of our speakers go, you will have an opportunity to speak one-on-one with the companies. We have hiring managers and recruiters that will be in the breakout rooms at the end. And so you'll be able to speak directly with those hiring companies. So as they're speaking, feel free to ask questions in the chat, but also write down some questions yourself that you want to ask these companies when you follow up with them in the chat or in the breakout room section. And that will come at the end of the call about 10:30 Pacific time. Also, if you would like closed captioning, that is available to you. It's on the bottom of your screen if you're on a computer, and it just says show captions. And so the closed captioning is right there at the bottom. You can utilize that today. So up on your screen is coming the agenda. I'm just doing a quick intro. I'm going to introduce the Greater Phoenix Chamber Foundation, and they will do an overview of companies that are industries that are growing. Then we're going to spend about a half hour with panelists from experts from different industries that are growing and changing, and that you can be on the lookout for and think about as you're considering your new career. Also, we decided to pull in a guest presentation today about artificial intelligence and AI. And everyone pretty much has an opinion about AI, some good, some not so good. And but we're going to bring somebody in that's utilizing it in business. And so we'll touch on just maybe how to use it in business, but also your job search, and then what that industry is looking like right now. It's pretty interesting stuff. And so Linda Lumen will come in and speak about that. And then we will have the rest of our hiring companies speak. They'll just be talking for a couple minutes and giving you the high level overview. And then you're going to be able to speak with them at the breakout session. Okay. I also wanted to let you know a couple things we're going to be doing today that are fun. We're going to announce a scholarship that we're giving away that everybody will have access to apply for. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some free training available to everybody. And then for the next 45 days. And then we're also going to give away 2 $50 Amazon gift cards. So I'm telling you, we have some fun stuff for you guys planned today. So make sure you hang on, make sure you engage. And I love that you all are saying hello in the chat. And please go ahead and keep that up. If you're just joining and you have not introduced yourself yet, please open up the chat icon that's located on the bottom of your screen and introduce yourself. And I see a couple people. Hello, Julie. Good morning. Oh, from Fresh Start Women's Foundation. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. And then Pyrus from Queen Creek. Good morning. So just go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what kind of position you're looking for, where you're located, and then if you have a LinkedIn URL, you could drop in so we can all connect with each other. That'd be awesome. All right, you guys, I'd love to introduce you to Jill Bushbacher. She is the Director of Workforce Innovation for the Greater Phoenix Chamber Foundation, here to give us an overview this morning. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us, everyone, this morning. I'm just going to give you a little bit of background and talk about some of the industries that you're going to hear from today. A lot of the information, as you'll see, is from the Office of Economic Opportunity. They're a great resource. They're the state's labor market information resource and the state economists, and they do a lot of great research and provide a lot of good information. There'll also be some information from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and others. But just kind of want to start with some long-term trends, Arizona versus the US. In kind of the long-term realm, we sit in a good position. We've had tremendous growth, as we all know, in population, labor force, and in employment growth over the last several decades. And so we sit in a very good position in that way in kind of the long-term trends. Next slide, thank you. And then the more recent trends, we're kind of neck and neck, as you see in our little graphic there. We're a little bit behind, but kind of neck and neck on a lot of these. We're in a better position as it relates to unemployment, which is great news. And we're in just a little bit lower position as it relates to wage growth by percentage and labor force participation rate. And again, these are from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can dig into these yourself at their websites or at the Office of Economic Opportunities website. And today I know we're talking about some specific industries, so I kind of wanted to hone in on some of those. You see some stats there kind of letting you know what some of the projections have been in these industries over the last couple of years. Construction leading the way in many ways, finance and insurance, which is a huge industry here in Arizona that sometimes people don't always think about when they think about our primary industries. Healthcare, transportation, and warehousing, I kind of lumped in because we're having an event specific to that industry next week with AZ Careers Now, but also, you know, we're going to be talking about manufacturing today, and to distribute those goods, you have to have the transportation and warehousing piece. So, and then professional and technical services, kind of goes along with several of these and kind of ties into the IT and cybersecurity. Next slide, please. So as it relates to construction, you know, they make up about 6.3% of our statewide workforce and really contribute heavily to our GDP in the state at 23.6 billion, which is about 5.2%. And you see the average growth rate per year over the last decade has been 5.3%. And when you compare that to the US, it's only been 3% in the US. So we've been growing like crazy as far as construction jobs and construction goes. And that's no surprise probably to any of us, but lots of opportunity in that industry. And I just took kind of a handful of some of the occupations for each of these and some of the data about them. So PV installers related to the solar industry, tile and stone setters, as you see, kind of the projected 10-year growth rate and the mean wage. So there's some good wages there, some good family sustaining wages, and some good opportunity certainly in the trades. Glazier, not everybody may be familiar with that term. Those are really the folks that install and cut glass and install windows and various construction projects. And then the average industry total, when you look at, I'm sorry, can you go back for just a second? Thanks. When you look at wages and statewide total employment in construction, as you see, it comes out to 58,000. So next slide, please. So finance and insurance, you're going to be hearing from some great companies in that realm today as well. And you see that, you know, they make up about 8.1% of our statewide workforce, which is kind of a hefty number. And a lot of people, again, don't realize that that's such a large industry here in Arizona, but lots of opportunity. The growth rate there for the last decade has been fairly high, especially compared to the US average. The US average was 1.4%, while Arizona's was 3.5%. And even with, next slide, please. Even with some of the growth that you'll see in the positions in this area, there may not be as high as some of the other industries right now. There's still tremendous opportunity based on the number of companies and number of positions, even with, you know, just folks aging out and retiring out of some of these positions in these companies. There's lots of opportunity. And the wages are really excellent, as you see, in these particular types of positions. And the statewide total employment being at 58,000 and the financial services industry average at 77,000. Let's dive into healthcare just a little bit. With healthcare, you see they make up quite a sizable percentage of our workforce in Arizona, 13.4%, representing 413,000 workers in Arizona at this time, based on 2022 info. And the growth rate has been, again, higher in Arizona than the US average at 2.9% versus 1.7% nationally. Some of the specialty areas that we have in Arizona are pretty exciting and cutting edge, whether it's in bioscience or cancer research or algae and plant-based genomic research. Really neat things going on in Arizona, in addition to the traditional medicine. And then some of the particular occupations, just picking out a handful of them and showing their projected 10-year growth rate and mean wage. Obviously some excellent wage rates there, so many needs. I mean, nursing, we can't say enough about that as well. Such a need for nurses, so much opportunity in nursing and nursing support type positions as well. But you can dig in deeper to some of these occupations and this information, again, through the Office of Economic Opportunities website. And I'll share some other resources towards the end of the presentation here. Getting into manufacturing, 6.2% of our statewide workforce, with a good, healthy growth rate, average of 2.1% over the last 10 years, blowing the national rate out of the water. Theirs was only 0.7%. So tremendous growth. And this is even, just remember, all this data, it tends to be generally 12 to 18 months behind. So some of these numbers are even higher in real time if you start to look at the exciting announcements, especially in manufacturing, that we've had in the last couple of years. Looking at some of the positions there, again, just kind of a sampling of some of the highest paying and highest growth rate, highest projected growth rate positions. Statewide total employment, again, the average wage is 58,000, but the manufacturing industry is at 88,000. So quite impressive numbers there. Next slide, please. IT and cybersecurity, something Arizona is becoming better known for all the time. Some have called us the Silicon Desert. And it represents 3.7% of our statewide workforce. Great jobs, continuing to grow. We've had a growth rate of 5.1% over the last decade on average, well above the US average of 3.6%. So very exciting things happening in this industry as well. And then if you take, again, just kind of a sampling of some of the positions and the projected growth rates, very impressive. If you look at, for example, web developers, 21% growth rate, that is tremendous, and good family sustaining wages in all of these positions. And you look at the average wage rate compared to the statewide total employment rate, 58,000 again for the statewide total employment, and for this industry, it's 92,000. So it really blows that out of the water. And just for some additional labor market information resources to let you know, we have our State of the Workforce report that we released a couple of months ago. That's on our website, so you can check that out there at the Greater Phoenix Chamber Foundation's website. And then also we'll be having some additional statewide industry or state industry specific reports coming out indicating more specifics about each of these areas, taking a deep dive, looking even about what kind of some of the education and training needs are too in some of these areas, coming out later this month or early in September. So keep an eye out for that as well. And I'll turn it back over to you, Jessica, and thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much for giving the overview. We appreciate that information. It's always interesting to see where the growth is happening, the salaries associated with that. So fantastic. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. If you missed the intro before Jill got to speak, we are going to go into a time of panel speakers right now, and we're going to dive into these industries that Jill talked about. And we have representatives from each of the industries. They're going to talk about what growth looks like, opportunities at their companies. And then after this, we're going to move into I think we have about 12 additional hiring companies that are each going to give about a 3-minute overview of their company and what they're hiring for. So this program is based in Arizona. So we have a lot of Arizona positions, and then many of them are on site, but we also have today companies featuring hybrid and also work from home positions. And so those of you that are calling in from other places, welcome. You're in the right place, and we're glad you're here. And so you will see some opportunities as well today. So that is what we're going to be doing. And then around 10:30 Pacific time, we'll be jumping into breakout rooms. And in the breakout room section of the call, that means you're going to be able to talk one-on-one with our speakers, with the hiring companies. We have additional recruiters on site or at the event today, and they will each have breakout rooms. So go ahead and ask your questions in the chat, but also go ahead and take some questions down, and feel free to connect with the recruiters and the hiring managers when we get to the breakout sessions. All right, you guys, we're going to move into a panel time now. And I have some questions for our panelists that are here today. So I'm going to do a quick intro and get them all on the line. And then we're going to take the PowerPoint down, and you'll just see our faces will be pinned to the top. And you'll see the people that are speaking today. So I'd like to introduce all 5 panelists, and then we'll get started. So Sydney Hawkins, welcome from Canyon State Electric, the Safety and Training Director. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. We have Therese Valdez with Phoenix Children's, and she is the Divisional Director of HR. Hello, Therese. I know she's on. I was talking to her earlier.
Sorry about that. Good morning.
We got you. Thanks. Yuri Hoverson, Able Aerospace Services. He's the Director of Engineering.
Good morning. Hello, everyone.
Oh, good to see you. Phil Huta, he is with Charles Schwab, the Director of Client Services and Support.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be with you all.
Hi, good to see you. And then we have Brian Johnson. He is a venture investor and advisor.
Glad to be here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. All right. So what we're going to do is talk a little bit about each of the panelists. I would like for each of you to just give a quick minute or two overview of yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself in the industry that you're representing today. So Sydney, why don't you start us out?
Absolutely, love to. Good morning. My name is Sydney Hawkins. I am the Safety and Training Director for Canyon State Electric. And as far as me personally, I've been in the industry for going on about 3 decades. Started out in the trenches and worked my way up through the industry. It's an industry I absolutely love. I joke around a lot of times and say that we're just a bunch of grown kids. But the truth of the matter really is, with the explosive growth that we've seen here in the Phoenix area, regardless of the industry, there's a need for more distribution centers, for data centers, for chip manufacturers, for strip malls, housing. And so construction is really seeing some incredible trends on the upswing. And not only with the work coming down the pipeline, but because there is such a demand for labor, we are seeing an explosive growth in wages as well. So that's some of the stuff that we want to, look at and focus on, is the positions, the skills. Do you need the skills? There's companies out here that are willing to train you and pay for that just to get you into the industry. But I think anyone who lives in this area, when you're driving down the freeway, you see the growth. You see tower cranes everywhere. So it's actually a really exciting time. We have not seen this type of growth. We've been on a steady uptick since 2010. And I think it's going to increase exponentially. So we need a lot of talent and skill in our industry.
Yes, absolutely. So much going on in the trades and construction industry. I'm excited to talk about some more of that. So thanks, Phil, or thanks to Sydney. So Therese, let's go. Let's talk a little bit about healthcare. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So hi, I'm Therese Valadez. As Jessica mentioned, I'm an HR divisional director at Phoenix Children's Hospital, and so I'm representing healthcare. I have been in healthcare for the last 13 years. It is a very rewarding field to be in. I have been in adult healthcare as well as now pediatric healthcare. The growth of healthcare is immense, both on the pediatric side as well as in the adult side. We're opening, in fact, 2 additional hospitals here in the Valley, which is very exciting for Phoenix Children's. There is a plethora of different opportunities, from entry-level positions and then moving into clinical bedside positions. Of course, it takes also corporate positions to be able to run the healthcare industry. And I think we've seen a lot in the last 3 to 4 years with respect to growth in salaries with respect to healthcare. It is an industry that does require education, but there are entry-level positions that you can start off, and with tuition reimbursement, which most organizations offer, you can continue to grow your healthcare knowledge and experience and grow within the organizations that you're in. So lots of competition in the Valley, lots of different healthcare aspects, as Jill mentioned as well, just a whole variety of different occupations you can have within the healthcare industry. I think a lot of people just zero in on the clinical side, but there's a lot of other things as well. We're a teaching hospital, so research is a part of our organization, a whole variety of different things. So it's a very exciting and, like I said, a very rewarding industry to be a part of.
Yeah, and I think that's such a great point, Therese, because all of the industries that are being represented here not only hire for that particular function, healthcare, but also all the support positions that go with it. And so it's across the board. And so when we do these events and we say this industry, it's really almost everybody is touched in some kind of way because of the positions that are needed. Thank you. All right.
Absolutely.
Phil, let's jump into you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and you're here representing the finance/insurance kind of services industry today.
Sure, thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you making the time to join us. So I'm Phil Hughes. I'm a director at Charles Schwab in our investor services area. And so I lead some of our brokerage service teams here in the Phoenix area. I've been at Schwab for about 20 years, or as I like to say, 4 sabbaticals. The cool benefits we have at Schwab is that every 5 years we get a sabbatical. So we always like to mention those things. I'll tell you just Schwab has been an incredible place to develop a career and to raise a family. My wife and I have 7 kids, and so we have this. It's been a joy to be a part of Schwab, where we've been able to, grow our careers at the same time, have that work-life balance. Schwab is part of financial services. We're representing the broader industry today. Obviously, it's very, very large. You got everything from the investment world to accounting and taxes to insurance to investment banking and banking itself and so on. So it's a very broad industry, and there's tremendous opportunities in our industry. You can see in the marketplace that things are slowing a little bit, but don't let that disillusion you. There's still lots of hiring going on, and if you look at the growth rates that Jill was talking about over the coming decade or so, the pace of hiring and growth in financial services is about 7% or a little bit higher than the national average. And in some pockets, there's a lot of growth. So also just a brief word on Schwab. Schwab is a very purpose-driven company. You probably read about us in the news with our acquisition of TD. We've been growing a lot. We started off as this little sleepy discount firm on the West Coast and have grown, to $8 trillion in client assets. So we're the largest publicly traded broker-dealer. And that has happened through a singular focus on taking care of clients. So our strategy is to see things through the client's eyes, to take care of people. We have a belief at Schwab that investing creates wealth and wealth creates freedom. Everybody should be an investor. We want to make it easy and accessible. And so our purpose is to champion clients' goals of passion and integrity, help them out. And by keeping costs low, by creating a culture where it's inclusive and service-oriented and selfless and collaborative, we've been able to build a very strong company. What that means for all of you listening in is there's a wealth of careers available to you at Schwab. I'll pause there, and I'm sure we'll have time to get into more questions. So,
fantastic. Thanks, Phil. I'm always interested in hearing the Schwabi culture. The Schwabies, I think you guys call yourselves. Awesome. All right, Yuri, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the industry manufacturing?
Great. Thanks for having me. Good morning, everybody. My name is Yuri Hoverson. I'm the Director of Engineering at Able Aerospace Services. We're located at Mesa Gateway Airport. I've been with the company for over 24 years now, so obviously the culture is good here, or I wouldn't have stuck around for so long. I really have enjoyed working at Able Aerospace. We are an FAA repair station, so we repair and overhaul aircraft components, assemblies, and actual aircrafts, both helicopter and fixed wing. We have a hangar here, so we actually today we have a King Air 360 in the hangar, which is always fun to go look at and play with. We currently have around 360 employees, and the majority of our staff consists of skilled mechanics, technicians, and machinists. But we also have a good amount of support staff as well, consisting of engineering, sales, customer service, and accounting for the most part. And like most companies right now, we are looking for skilled labor in a very competitive market. So I'm very excited to be here to chat with you all, and I'll just stop there. So thank you.
Great, thanks for being here. All right, Brian, you are representing IT technology. So much going on in that industry right now, ups and downs and all the stuff. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your company and the industry in general.
Sure, thanks, Jessica. And for those that don't know about technology, just look at your screen. The work that you do, the way that it connects, and the way that we build in IT and cybersecurity, really, it's powering and protecting the technologies that businesses use to service customers. And I was formerly with PayPal, and then before that, I was actually in Schwab. So I echo Phil's comments about Schwab being an excellent place to work as well. And I think the employers in the Valley over the years, the network across technology and cybersecurity groups have been phenomenal. As Jessica mentioned earlier, we kind of have coined it as the Silicon Desert, or actually I think Jill mentioned that we've coined the Valley as kind of the Silicon Desert of areas. And I've worked in the Bay Area a lot with Schwab and PayPal and other tech companies. And I would say over the last 30 years of my career, the most important thing around technology and cybersecurity careers is connectedness. Being connected to a network of people that you can help and be helped by, that you can leverage resources and partner with, and that you can find some skills that complement the work that you're doing. So I think in the most recent work that I've done that I would share with you is in the tech field. Change is the only thing that is predictable and inevitable in any organization you join. So get your foot in the door if you haven't entered technology and are interested in it, or cybersecurity, and find an opportunity to grow from. I've seen, so I now spend time helping with workforce collaboratives with the Greater Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. As Jill mentioned, we actually have some groups that are helping to build career paths and reskilling and upskilling opportunities. And those are ways to get involved in a career and kind of get a shadowing program experience. We're kicking one off in November, in fact, and I'll talk about that a bit later. But we've got so many opportunities in the Valley to both get free training and education certifications in cyber if you're looking to get into cyber or information security, and it seems a little daunting or you know, a really odd place to try to start. There are some excellent career tracks and programs that we've developed to help get you started and into the field. My experience is fortunately, I've been able to work in both the IT fields of databases and big systems and cloud systems, as well as cybersecurity. And in all of those areas, again, I would just reiterate, you know, if you're interested in that field, you like to solve problems, you're toying with a fidget spinner or a Rubik's Cube right now or something, or you're thinking about the next puzzle you're going to solve, you probably have that kind of mindset that would lend you toward a career in tech and or cybersecurity. And the field is obviously growing tremendously. The data that Jill shared shows that. And we'd love to have you get involved, get engaged in it, and figure out a good way to get you on ramped into the community here.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Brian. Okay, you guys, we're just going to pop around now. We're really going to dive into these industries. And so what I'm interested in knowing is hearing from you, from your opinion, what does growth look like in your industry over the next couple years? And then like, maybe also the need for talent. What does that look like? Are you, really going up? Is your industry really growing? Some of you mentioned yours are. Is your talent pool looking different? Are you looking for different types of talent? Kind of tell us what changes your industry is going through right now. So, Therese, let's start with you. Healthcare. Talk about that a little.
Sure, absolutely. So healthcare continues to grow. It's one of the top growth industries in Arizona. I think, by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it says here in 2023 about 15% growth. From my own personal experience, as I mentioned when I introduced myself, we continue to grow at Phoenix Children's. We're over 6,000 employees, and we're projected to grow, I think, to close to 7,000 employees. We just opened a freestanding ED in Avondale. We, as I mentioned, are opening 2 new hospitals, one in the West Valley and one in the East Valley. The need for talent, of course, then is, in addition to that. So we, of course, as Jill mentioned earlier, nurses are a big growth area. Great piece of, a very important and integral part of hospitals and clinics. Not only hospitals, but there's many clinics. We opened a sports arena in the East Valley as well to do sports therapy and things like that. So I think, when we look at growth in jobs from a clinical side, it's obviously RNs and techs like emergency department techs, behavioral health techs. Behavioral health is a huge industry as well. And so that continues to grow. People that have specialties, as well. We just hired in the last month 40 new specialty physicians, so that continues to grow as well. Rad techs, radiology techs are another big area. Emergency technicians, paramedics. I could go on and on with the various roles that are required. And then, as you know, I'd mentioned earlier, all those support positions as well. Positions within human resources, positions within finance, within IT. It's all that support that takes that growth, to help that growth in our industry. So it's a very exciting time, I think, in Arizona and in Phoenix, because we are seeing that growth, and it's an area that people continue to move into because it's a wonderful place to live as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So let's see, Yuri, why don't you kind of talk a little bit about manufacturing? We know it's growing here anyway, and what that looks like from your perspective.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, manufacturing in general, I believe in Arizona is just growing immensely, and specifically aerospace, the industry that I oversee for the most part, it's growing huge. Here at Mesa Gateway Airport, we're seeing tons of growth. Besides us, I mean, Gulfstream has recently moved in, Embraer is here, Textron Aviation, but also even Virgin Galactic is going to be starting to build their spaceship. Their Delta III spaceship will be built here in a couple of years. So we're seeing a lot of growth there. And like I said in my intro, I think our biggest challenge is just the competition. I mean, the Valley's always been an aerospace hub. You got the Honeywells, the Northrops, General Dynamics, Boeing. Some of our customers too. And again, Able Aerospace represents a lot of the smaller companies that basically feed into these larger corporations. So back to the staffing and the needs for skilled workers. Able is always looking for machinists, A&P mechanics, skilled technicians across the board, but so are all these other companies. So that is the challenge, but the growth is great. The thing about it is all these companies, including ourselves, we have to really start looking pretty aggressively at other types of talent pipelines. Just after this meeting, I'm going to be going to a high school that's setting up a certification program for mechanics. So that's great. The programs out of high school are starting to see the real need for manufacturing skilled labor. So I do feel strongly about the growth in the Valley, and I'm excited for the future.
I love that. And I think if we have time, we're going to dive into the different opportunities that, a lot of people like to go for 4-year degrees, and that's great. And we need that. But then we also need people that are certified in trades and skilled labor that are really great paying positions and long career paths. And so thank you for mentioning that. And we're trying to get these high schoolers interested in these different types of careers. So thanks. All right. Let's see. Brian, you want to dive into the technology side?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, that's a really good segue into some of what we're seeing in technology is adaptable entry paths where you don't have to have a 4-year degree necessarily to enter the tech fields. If you're interested in information technology and some of the emerging jobs that are being created like immediately today, artificial intelligence, which, I'm excited to hear the talk on that later. That the AI topic has grown in a specialized field of its own for both developing AI models, the engineering side of building the tools that work and leverage AI. And then on the other side of governance and compliance and risk management, there's a whole field of ethics and policy management and oversight for AI that is opening a whole new field of jobs. So jobs in the technology and cybersecurity field are being invented literally on the fly. And so there's new and growing opportunities for folks that are trying to get into the workforce. And when you see periods of recession or companies laying off or resizing in different areas, those are always great double down investment opportunities. Time to reskill, maybe pick up some new certifications, find ways to augment your training in an area that could get you into an entry level position or even a mid level apprenticeship or externship opportunity. They're pathways that we're building now in the Valley uniquely. And I think in the Phoenix market, we've got such great collaboration with public and private sector and education. Our education partners have been phenomenal at building certification tracks, curriculum to help you get up to speed in a specific area. And so those are things that we're excited to build more connecting with potential employees into the workforce and to get people in. The talent shortage is tremendous, though. I mean, there's over 3.5 million jobs for cybersecurity and technology jobs globally, and a huge portion of those are in the U.S. I think it's like 750,000 jobs are available in the U.S. for tech jobs, and Arizona is leading in the development of a lot of those too. I have the privilege of serving on some venture capital groups where we're helping to seed startup and mid-sized companies to get more funding. There is still a lot of money coming into mid-sized and startup businesses to get them venture funded, which means hiring people. The vast majority of the money that's raised for these companies in the billions of dollars put into them is to hire people and talented staff. And so the number one thing I hear when I sit on boards and talk with founders and mid-sized companies is there's a talent shortage and they're looking for great people. So don't be shy to jump into the field if you're interested in it, because there's a tremendous amount of job development, creation, and growth in areas that could be real interesting, for someone trying to pick up new skills and enter that workforce.
I think that's such an interesting point, because so many people think immediately of the big, large companies, but you're saying there's funding coming in for these smaller businesses, medium-sized businesses. So really digging into what the opportunities are with these other companies.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, let's, Phil, talk to us a little bit about finance.
Sure. So I mentioned earlier the long-term growth prospects around the 7% mark. But I do want to acknowledge, the immediate cycle, and that you probably have seen some headlines in the news where various firms are doing force reductions and so on. And so in the immediate future, if you look at some of the inflationary pressure driving increase in rates, which will create credit tightening, we also see slowdown of mergers and acquisitions and IPOs and so on. So you've seen some of these economic factors drive a little bit of belt tightening as firms look around and try to slow down their expenses. But don't let that kind of, a consolidation cycle and a tightening cycle dissuade you from a career in financial services. In the long run, obviously, there's tremendous opportunity. And so at Schwab, we're still hiring. Many firms are continuing to hire. If you look at, positions like a financial examiner, for example, in the banking industry, think about making sure that clients and consumers are protected. Those kind of roles are expected to be double the national growth rate for jobs over the next 7 years. If you look at accounting, for example, you could see that there's a lot of folks that are retiring, and some of them are selling their boutique practices because they don't really have somebody who's younger in the business to take it over. So you see pressures across financial services that will continue to create maybe a little bit of belt tightening in the short term, and in the longer term, the growth cycle and story is still great. And one of the things I want to mention too is that sometimes we see a lot of people have a lot of success coming out of college and going into our early program like the Vice Academy or broker training program, we call our Service Academy, and so on. But there's also a lot of folks that have career success as career changers. And diversity in finance is a big challenge, both gender and ethnic diversity. We'd love to see more and more career changers come into the business. They bring their life experiences, the ability to communicate with emotional intelligence. We're really in the people business. And so sometimes people look at financial services and they see these charts and they watch CNBC and everything looks confusing and mysterious. In the end, investment concepts, financial concepts end up being pretty simple. And it's really about caring about serving people. So for those career changers out there that are thinking about making a change, financial services has a very bright future. And there's a lot of career growth as you start off in maybe entry-level positions that you start over, but you continue to grow your salary and your career and responsibilities very, very quickly. One of the highest paying roles out there and across industries is a financial advisor, and so there's very well-worn paths at Schwab and other firms into those roles that can be very rewarding for you.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when you talk to people about the finance industry, that's where they would go immediately. Oh, I don't want to run an office or a brokerage, or it's like, okay, there are so many opportunities in finance and insurance also and that's just one very tiny piece of what's out there. So it's a well-paying position for sure, but yes, there's so many additional opportunities.
Absolutely. The whole support apparatus is there in firms like Schwab and other firms in financial services.
That's right. That's right.
Securities area of the business.
Okay, Sydney, let's talk the trades, construction. Tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, it's, I think like everyone else has seen, the growth in Arizona is astronomical. And for us in particular, some of the unique aspects that we are facing is not only the need for qualified and proven talent, but also not just in the field, on the support side with the project management, the administrative, every other position that supports those. One unique thing that we are seeing is that by 2025, we are projecting to lose about 24% of our workforce due to retirement. So yeah, so we are trying to fill these positions, but we're also, like everyone else, thinking outside of the box. I know Yuri mentioned it, and it's some of the things that we also do here is we're trying to engage. We actually are engaging high school students at the junior level. So by the time they hit 20, if they follow through with our in-house apprenticeship or a different type of apprenticeship program, they are literally at the age of 20 without having any kind of debt, because we actually pay for the education. They are able to start earning. Currently, if they were doing it, they're earning about $65,000 to $75,000 a year as a qualified journeyman. And it just goes up from there. Our superintendents, of course, there's more. A lot of these individuals that we are currently employing have crossed over from other industries. And it's not because of any particular reason. Maybe they saw glass ceilings, maybe this is something they've wanted to do. The biggest challenge has been to recruit the exact talent. Canyon State Electric, we have in the last 12 months doubled our field staff, and we are still in a hiring phase, as I'm sure everybody here is. And it's, again, not just for field positions, but project management positions and project managers. If you're just getting started out, maybe it's a crossover from another industry, 75,000 on average. Seasoned project managers, well over $100,000 a year. And again, this is something that you don't have to go get that 4-year degree. Now, it's common misconception, I think, in the construction industry, or perception of the construction industry, is you are going to find a lot of bachelor's and master's, even internally. We have individuals working here with PhDs. So it really doesn't matter what level of experience you have. We can start you down the career path, even if you've already had a career and you're just looking to jump back in. But the biggest and most exciting thing about it is just every company out here, Canyon State, I believe, is one of the forefronts of this, is we are developing new out-of-the-box thinking programs, not only for your education, but for your health, for your mental well-being, for anything that people are having a problem with or struggle with. We engage on that, and that's something that really starts to attract potential employees to our companies. And what I would recommend and what I would say is this is a fast-growing business. We have enough work currently to support us for the next 2 years. And we have, I believe, 8 people on our estimating team that are turning out bids every week. We are looking for more and more and more. So it is an amazing opportunity, whether you want to become an electrician with Canyon State, if you want to get into apprenticeship programs, if you want to work for general contractors like Wilming, who I know is on the call, plumbing, framing. It's a wonderful trade. It's a wonderful career. And personally, I love it. And I think people would find a lot of joy in it. And the benefits are there.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So we're already running out of time. I have like 5 more questions I want to ask, but we can't do that. So, but I'm going to ask one more question, but if you were on the call at the beginning, you saw data from Jill Bushbacher that gave you salary ideas, ranges. If you missed that part of the call, just know that we will be sending an email out after this event, and it will have a link to the webinar, so you can go back and watch any part of this that you would like. And also it will have links to every single job board for every company that is represented here today. And so look for that email, and you can go back and look at that salary date information and hear our speakers again. But I do want to ask you, we just have 2 minutes and I want to wrap this up quickly. If you could just mention a couple hot jobs at your company, and then maybe a good benefit or a perk or something that's really exciting for you about your company. So let's start with Phil. Let's start with you on this one, because I know the benefits are amazing there.
Sure, thank you. I would say one key role that we plan to hire in the Phoenix market next year, and we're actually shifting some of the hiring from the other market into Phoenix next year, is around our what we call our financial service professional. So it's a broker trainee program. It's 6 months long, combination of classroom time, on-the-job learning, time to study and obtain licenses that are required in our industry. So it's one role that we often highlight. I mentioned the Vice Academy, our Service Talent Academy. Also want to just mention that for earlier in career folks, we have what we call our Aspiring Talent Academy, which is like an apprenticeship program. Think about apprenticeships, internship, instead of just being the summertime. It works throughout the year. So we are hiring in all of those roles. Of course, if you look at IT and talent, there's a lot of roles open there as well. I would encourage you to hop on schwabjob.com, join our talent network. That's the best way to get in there, and our recruiters can connect with you all on whatever your aspirations may be, and look forward to chatting in the breakout rooms as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, Brian, you want to talk about, some hot jobs in the IT industry right now, and maybe some companies either you or you're working with?
Absolutely. So there's a couple of programs that I would encourage folks to consider if you're entering tech or cyber. Boeing is hiring externship and has a NIST-based program, which is a national program where they do kind of a rotation. Kadelsky Security in Phoenix is they're a global company that has a local footprint. And then the employers on the line, I mean, it's Phil just mentioned, but I'm sure all the employers on the line are hiring in different roles in tech and cyber roles. The hot jobs that I would highlight, cloud engineering is still a very hot job. So if you're interested in automating systems and processes, there's always a lot of work to do there. Linda will talk about AI. AI has emerged a few different jobs. One is specifically AI engineering and security. So securing AI is like securing a person. Artificial intelligence means we need to manage that intelligence into some kind of form, the norm. So that's an emerging field. And then red tech is an emerging area that I've been investing in a venture fund. And that's emerging regulations and technologies that help automate regulatory alignment. And so if you're more in the compliance, or maybe you've worked in a compliance regulation or fraud sciences or fraud team, those are roles that are emerging, which are allowing companies to automate the way of complying with the regulations. And as countries are building more data privacy and data protection regulations, those are things we're trying to figure out how to build better job paths and career paths with technology to solve too. So those are some of the hot jobs I'd encourage you to look into.
Awesome. Thank you. Sydney, why don't you tell us a little bit about the hot jobs at your company, but also just, in general, what are some good hot jobs for you? And I know you mentioned some last time.
Yeah. So real simple. And this kind of goes across the board with just about every contractor out there. I know with Canyon State in particular, we are looking for everything from entry level. If you have no experience, the apprenticeship, we of course put you through that. We are looking for qualified journeyman electricians. We're looking for foremen, assistant project managers, just about every position, any sort of support position, we're looking for those. And it's really just, again, it's because it's such a fast growing market, finding the talent is the difficult part. And getting individuals in the door with the drive, with the ability is the primary goal. Then once we have that, we can help educate and get everyone up to speed. So and again, the salary ranges depending on experience, what direction you want to go. And a lot of times you're the driver. If you want to get to a certain point and that's what you want, that's what we do. But it's all in-house education. Right now, the big need, and I think this is across the board, is journeymen, foremen, and project managers.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that that industry has been so willing to apprentice, intern, train, and really get people up to speed to be successful. Thank you for being here, Sydney. Therese, let's talk about Phoenix Children's and job opportunities.
Absolutely. I'll run through kind of some different components. So, from a corporate side, in revenue cycle, we look for billers, collectors, coders, administrative assistants. From a nursing perspective, patient care technicians, RNs, of course, always RNs. We have also leadership positions, clinical supervisors, clinical educators, pharmacy techs, lots of that work, med lab technicians, lab scientists, medical assistants. These are all, kind of hot jobs that we're looking for. SPD technicians, child life specialists, just a whole variety of different positions within the organization. Those are just to name a few of our hot jobs that are out there. When we look for also, some of the benefits being in the healthcare industry, one, we have great benefits. The other thing is you don't always have to work 5 days a week. You could work 3 days a week. We have a variety of full-time equivalencies, anywhere from part-time to full-time. If you want to make more money, you can pick up shifts. So there's a whole variety, I think, of flexibility that I don't think the healthcare industry is known for. We also, in some of our corporate positions, we do have hybrid positions. We have some remote positions. We have been named many years in a row, #1 wellness organization as well, which we have a huge focus on wellness. We have on-site psychologists that our employees can meet with, a whole variety of different focus areas when it comes to wellness. Great culture as well. We have a very young population in healthcare, and so great fun culture, and a pediatric hospital in general is just a really fun place to be, helping children. So that's just a couple of the highlights that I would mention in our industry and within Phoenix Children's.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then last but not least, Yuri, tell us about what you guys are hiring for and what that looks like right now.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be quick. So probably our hottest job right now is we need an accountant manager, but we also need accountants. We need a couple more for sure to rebuild that team. But on the skills side, we need machinists, painters, and other different various skilled roles. One of the good benefits about working at Able Aerospace is work-life balance. It's always been great. Like I mentioned before, I've been here a long time, and it's always been about work-life balance, and we do offer that for sure. Another good one is alternate work schedules, virtual, hybrid, 980s, etc. So we do offer those too, which is great in today's culture. So basically for jobs, go to ableaerospace.com or ableengineering.com, and also Able Aerospace is part of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, Textron. So basically go to textron.com too. There's jobs all over the nation that we are in need of right now. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So how about a round of applause for all of our speakers and panelists? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, panelists will either be in a breakout room or have representation in a breakout room. So please make sure to connect with them when we get to that breakout room session. So thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate you. Okay, we're gonna move on. I have a special announcement today, and we are so excited. We're getting some of the pins. I'm going to pin Sheila Coulomb up to the top. Sheila, this is not her favorite thing in the world, but I want to introduce you all to Sheila because this is a special announcement we're making, and you will see more coming out about this in a press release early next week. But because we had an event, we wanted to share this. Sheila Coulomb was my partner in crime for over 5 years and running Career Connectors. And if you've been around over the last couple years or previous to the last couple years, you may know Sheila, but she helped run our program. She went through her own career transition. She was a stay-at-home. She stayed home with her kids for 10 years. Sheila, was it about 10 years? And then when she was ready to get in the workforce, she attended a Career Connectors event, and then she decided, hey, I want to volunteer. When she heard that we're taking volunteers, I want to volunteer because that gives me a reason, a purpose to be here. And so that's how she learned to network. And then one day I called her up because I had seen what she was doing through some volunteering work. And I asked her if she would like to join me on our team. And so Sheila then came on staff with me, and it was awesome, awesome, awesome. And the reason I'm introducing you all to her today is because Sheila left our organization almost 2 years ago now. And it was really, really hard to lose her. But after COVID, the nonprofit had been hit really hard, and financially we were not real stable at that time. But I told her at the time, or shortly after, that we wanted to do a scholarship in her name as soon as our funding came back around and we had stabilized. And Sheila is a huge advocate for education. And so today we are announcing the Sheila Coulomb Education Scholarship in the amount of $3,000 to start with. And we hope to be able to fundraise and increase that every year. But this scholarship will be in honor of Sheila and the work she did in our community, the legacy that she left in Career Connectors. You all have no idea the work that she did, the blood, sweat, and tears that she gave. And she was the one that during COVID said, we were at an event in Scottsdale, about 20 people, 25 people maybe showed up to that event, and we knew everything was going to shut down that week. And I said, what are we going to do, Sheila? These people need our help. And she looked at me and she said, we're not stopping. She said, we're going online. And within less than a week, we had an event, and we were able to help thousands and thousands of people during COVID. And I am just so eternally grateful to you, Sheila. And I want to thank you for your contribution to Career Connectors, contribution to our community, and for just being a good friend. So thank you for allowing us to do the scholarship in your name. You have any thoughts that you'd like to say?
Wow. Well, thank you. You know, this completely overwhelms me to have something in my name. Like I don't know about that, but I do want to say that you personally and your organization, it was life-changing for me. As you know, first career was engineering. I had a great time doing that, was very confident. But then after being home with my kids, I was a completely different person. I remember walking into an event and not even being able to speak, like literally could not speak. I was so kind of overwhelmed and having, no kind of self-confidence. And I remember going to a Twitter workshop when Twitter was new. So this is dating me, I know, but I remember you saying, I couldn't verbalize like my value or my little profile thing. And I kept saying, yeah, but that was 10 years ago. And you're like, stop saying 10 years ago. You are still capable. Like those words. And then your whole organization really just pivoted me and put me on a growth path. So I appreciate everything that I was able to learn. And of course, my heart always wants to contribute. So that was an excellent match for me and still is. So thank you for still involving me. And thank you for continuing to serve in the community.
Awesome. Thank you, Sheila. Round of applause. We're so excited. So we will be sending out a press release. Everybody on this call will get an email. And to see if you are interested in applying for the scholarship, again, it's a $3,000 scholarship. We will choose one person this year. It will be a very short application process, and it can go to any kind of education that you are interested in. It can be, a certification. It can go towards a degree. It can go to anything that can help you in your career. So thank you, Sheila. It's been an honor to work with you. I love you so much. You know that. Thank you. All right, you guys. Now we are going to move on. That was one of our first surprises of the day. We have two more fun surprises today as well. All right, we're going to move on to Linda Lumen, and she is going to talk to us about AI and artificial intelligence and what that's looking like. So welcome the Executive Vice President of HR for Achieve, Linda Lehman.
Well, thank you, Jessica, and welcome everyone. It's so exciting to see all your faces and to read all in the chat. And of course, earlier hearing all about the great information that you're going to walk away with. What a tremendous morning. And I'm just so privileged to be here and share with you a little bit about that job search, but now in a little bit different world, in an AI world. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I want to tell you just a smidge about Achieve. We're a leader in digital personal finance. And in essence, we're here to help people. We do what traditional banks and other lenders don't really do. We put people first. So even though we have lots of data and intelligence and we build innovative technology and all kinds of tools to help our member clients, we are here with an empathetic and human touch every step of the way, holding hands to make sure that our client members are on a journey of a future, a really strong financial future to accomplish the things that they've always desired to do. Our mission is real simple. It is all about people, and it's helping just everyday Americans empower themselves to move forward on a path to a better financial future. So very simple. We're here to help people really leverage and recognize that they can be in a really best place for their finances. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about AI. Well, first of all, what is it? Let me just spend a second telling you that AI is nothing more than computer programs and systems. It's doing those things that have always been done by humans that may be monotonous or take lots of time or maybe not even accurate. So we are now tapping into this new technology. It's actually a very large field, as Brian had mentioned, and lots of growth opportunity. So you ought to take just a few minutes and look around at all those amazing new jobs that are created every day to support this new technology. It also takes in machine learning and things like deep learning. This is where, for people like me, just normal everyday people, this means you're taking just years and years of data from multiple sources, and what used to take a data engineering team or a data scientist team months and months to decipher and gain insight can do it in seconds, identifying patterns and machine learning and deep learning and NLP, which is natural language processing. So take a few minutes, learn a little more about it. It's exciting, and there's so much that we can leverage if we're looking for a new position out there in with other companies. So first of all, you are probably going to run into AI with, first of all, a bot. If you go onto any career site today, you might see a little chatbot that can answer questions for you. This is a helpful piece of information. You can put anything in there. What are your schedules? Are you hiring now? Do you do virtual interviews? What are your top jobs? And that will provide for you instant information. On recruiting teams, we work really hard to make sure that those questions that people are looking for are answered. So just a little background. Corporate recruiters today use AI to scan resumes, cover letters, to glean information about you, to make sure that we're finding the right key experiences and skills that match with the job that companies are looking for. So we do that with resumes and anything in print, but now companies are moving into the interview world. So a recent study said that by 2024, we could go back to the slide before. That would be great. So there's a study, thank you, that says by the year 2024, that's next year, that's months, we're talking days, okay? Over 50% of companies will use AI for job interviews. So that means that we have to just think of this a little bit differently. But I know through Career Connectors, you can get some great recruiting and interviewing tips and ways to look at your resume. But from this study, 15% of those employers say that they're going to move and transition to make hiring decisions without any recruiter actually talking to people, talking to candidates. So why is this important for us? If we're looking for new opportunities out there in a world of companies, now we can go to the next slide. So it's really important that, first of all, we use AR to our advantage. You know, companies have AI, they're using it, they keep developing it, but what about job seekers? There's also great sites out there to help us. And you may be familiar with these, but if you're not, go out to Talent Prize, go out to PyLlama, go out to Foreplay. All of these will give you information about companies, their jobs, their culture. Do they have remote work? Do they have variable and flexible schedules? Where do they pay on the pay scale? So there's a lot of information out there that you can do homework on to find the best match of a company with what you're looking for, your values. So I encourage you to just take a peek on each of those sites. They're fascinating. All right, so down to the nitty gritty. How do we prepare for an AI interview? When you're set up for an interview, a virtual interview, you don't always know, is there going to be a recruiter asking you those questions? Or are you going to be staring into a black screen? Or a screen with just a little bit of lettering like, you are now on an interview. So we're going to help you prepare for that. First of all, just be yourself. Actually, when video interviews are recorded, the more natural you are, the more eye contact you make, the more human connection you can make through this video interview is critical. Because many companies, as we move into this AI world to help us target the best candidate for our jobs, we're going to be looking for things like communication, direct eye contact, the way you're excited in your voice, the way that you demonstrate your commitment through other jobs that you've had. You have those times that you can prepare ahead of time. And that means sometimes you have to just open up your laptop and talk to it to prepare yourself for your AI interview. But again, you're going to be so far above all the other candidates that are sort of caught off guard because they haven't done the homework and the preparation like Career Connectors is preparing you for as you continue on your job search. So remember, real simple, be prepared, practice, practice, practice. I know it's so unnatural for us to just talk into a void screen, right? We're used to that back and forth with a recruiter, back and forth discussion with a hiring manager. But we just have to realize that AI companies are looking for help too. And so we need to be prepared and show that we understand how we can still get across the best of our talents, the best of our capabilities, even if it's just being recorded. So I'm going to go to the next slide where I'm just going to briefly touch on some of the benefits for companies like mine that is using AI, using the best of this technology to help us with automation so that we can tap into the really valuable skills of our team. We don't want our team doing things that can be automated. We want them connecting with our member clients, talking to our member clients, helping them through our programs. We have tons of data and insights from being in business over 20 years. It would take us a team of hundreds to be able to go through all that data and glean these insights. But we can use algorithms and programs to help us things like budgeting and sales forecasting, understanding the risk and what we should look for as inflation increases. All those things can be built into data models, and we use them every day. We also use personalization. And that is so important today when we're all so busy and we interact every second with technology. Companies are learning that personalization with your client members, when you communicate using their first name, using the last time that you connected with them. I use it for employees as well. We want to recognize you and we want to give you a letter to recognize all the efforts. I want to put your name in there, your job title, how long you've been with us, and all some of your accomplishments. All of this can be done much more effectively with AI. And then, of course, like Brian talked about, the cybersecurity is just huge right now in all industries. think of all the ways in which we can use technology to protect the information that our companies hold, our proprietary programs that we've spent millions to develop. All of that can be protected much more effectively with AI. And then, of course, the last and my most favorite is virtual assistants. These are bots that can help us deliver information faster, like for our customer service representatives, getting information for our client members instantly instead of needing to call them back or follow up with an email or a text. That takes time, and people just don't have time today. So again, I appreciate a few minutes sharing with you how to get ready for this if you're a job seeker, how to leverage it to your advantage, because you're going to be above the crowd with all the other job seekers out there and candidates applying. And I also want to share my last slide, which is at Achieve, we are using AI to help our employees gain skill, to be better, to be more successful. She is called Ava, Achieve Virtual Assistant. Ava helps our client enrollment specialist on every call pick out those things that they can be more successful. We know what clients are successful, and we're trying to give real-time feedback to every single employee right after their call so they can have a better call the second time. So at the end of the day, they are more successful, they're more experienced, and they have more tools and resources to help them. And their leader can participate as well. So thank you. I know I only had a few minutes. I could talk for hours about this, but thank you for the time. And I so wish you all the best in your job search.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for being here and talking about something just new to the market, essentially, for most of us. And so thank you for sharing some of that. I know I even am dabbling in it through ChatGPT and some other programs. And so for those of you on the line, I know it can be kind of nerve-wracking and scary and uncomfortable, but it is something worth looking into because it is changing the way business is being done. So thank you, Linda. All right, we are going to move on into our the rest of our hiring companies. So each company is going to speak just for a couple minutes, give you a quick overview, and then when they're done, we'll move into the breakout session. So I'd like to introduce you all to Latoya Wilson. She is the talent acquisition specialist for State Farm. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, good neighbors. My name is Latoya Wilson. I'm super excited to connect with you. All right, let's move this thing fast because we only have a little time and I need you in my breakout room. So you've probably heard about State Farm. We're the #1 auto insurer in the nation. Guys, we've been around for over 100 years, but what most people don't know is that we are an employer of choice. With over 52,000 employees across the nation, we are the reason that we can help customers' life go right when things just go so wrong. Let's take a peek at a couple of positions that we have open. Grab your best friend. I want you to scan this QR code. Yep, I'm encouraging you to grab your cell phone. It's going to ask you for your first name, your last name, and your email address. This allows us to be good neighbors. Just in case something happens, you get disconnected, or maybe you can't spend time with me in the breakout room today. We have a couple of positions on the board right now: claim associate, property and casualty actuarial analyst, portfolio manager. The salaries you see are real salaries. Come talk to me to learn about the benefits, the ways of work, the culture. We're doing all things Q&A. All right, one more QR code before I turn it back over to you, Jessica. If you'd like to be fast friends, scan this one. This is my digital business card. Now that we've met, we'll be good neighbors forever. Save me to your contacts. If you're looking for a job at State Farm, I'd love to help you get there. If you have questions, I'll be your good neighbor. All right, guys, see you soon in my breakout room.
Love it. Thank you, Latoya, for being here. Awesome. All right. Anthony Vallone with the Human Resources Supervisor for Arizona Department of Economic Security. Hello.
Hello, Jessica. All right, so the Department of Economic Security, Arizona's agency for human services, more than just dollars and cents and benefits, actually contributing to the growth and success of the citizens of Arizona. So we're the second largest state agency. We're divided into 5 major divisions, all with their own unique programs and benefits that we deliver to the public. You know, when you work for the state, there's a true life balance. Again, you get to help society, and it's not all about dollars and cents. Next slide, please. What I want to talk about today is our development, a division of employment and rehabilitation services. This is the division that administers employment and rehabilitation services programs throughout Arizona. We have a major need for rehabilitation techs to work with people, getting them fit to, go back into the workforce. The benefits of working with the state are tremendous, as many of the benefits as you might find with any employer, including tuition reimbursement and the coup de grace of all benefits, student loan forgiveness for state and federal workers after 10 years of service, which can be tremendous if you reach that platform. Next slide, please. So here are a couple QR codes that'll take you directly to our rehabilitation services technicians in Phoenix. We have a number of openings, not only here locally, but all throughout Northern Arizona. Please click on the QR code. I am going to add this information to the chat box once we're done. And thank you all for being here. Jessica, I am finished.
Awesome. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for great. I did not know that about student loan forgiveness. Wow. Okay. All right, moving on. Robin Ersland, thank you for being here. Talent acquisition marketing specialist. I don't know if that's actually your title. We may have grabbed that, but Honor Health. Hi, Robin.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. And for years now, I've always adored being part of the Career Connectors and now with the chambers. So this is fun and good times, and really appreciate the learnings prior and earlier this morning. All right, everybody. So Honor Health is in the business of taking care of people. So we are in the business, throughout the whole Phoenix metropolitan area, and we just keep expanding and growing and really kind of sharing our footprint, of care with out there in the Valley. So Honor Health is an awesome place. You can certainly see some of our accolades here, and we just kind of keep growing and looking forward to caring for the community in expanding ways. All right, so next slide, please. All right, so we've got a nice little QR code that I put on there as well, so you're welcome to at any point in time. This will lead you directly to our career site. And on the career site, we've got a lot of different dynamic information on there with you. You can also check out jobs that we're hiring for actively right now by just going to the One Careers tab up at the top. And it's going to kind of splice things out based upon job family. So if you're an individual on the line today who's interested, in IT careers, or maybe more the administrative support, customer service type roles, or if it's clinical, we're always going to be hiring clinical individuals. We'll certainly have, nursing or allied health links on there for you as well. All right. So being a part of a hospital family, we've got great benefits, first and foremost. And one of the great benefits I will point out to you is we are very generous with our tuition assistance program. So those of you that would love to come aboard with us in any type of role and really aspire to have an awesome career path within the healthcare industry, you can certainly start many different roles and just kind of, plug along as you kind of, continue your experience with us, but then also your academic success. We honor up to $5,250 each calendar year for a part-time or full-time employee here with us. You just need to be with us first for 6 months, be standing, and we look forward to being able to share that opportunity with all of you. Some other great benefits, obviously, from a medical standpoint, retirement. We've even got 2 different childcare centers. So for those of you that certainly would be looking at an in-person role, certainly, or even remote as well, but here kind of more locally, you're welcome to utilize and have some discounts there from that perspective. You can find all of our jobs at honorhealthjobs.com. I'll make sure in the chat in a second that I'll also drop my email again and also my LinkedIn profile, so you can certainly kind of get to me as well, because I love to being able to help do the career navigation, with individuals. I mean, it's wonderful for all of you to be here on the line and have different, very first interest from HR, to clinical roles, but then also, our IT applications. We have a wonderful procurement, supply chain. So if you imagine a hospital being its own city in itself. So we've got 14,000 team members now, and we just keep growing. A lot's expanding also in our ambulatory, setting as well. So we have recently acquired FastMed. So you may kind of see some transitions a little bit more, with Honor Health here in the Valley. And we've got our 6 hospitals as well. But our medical group practices is really where there's a lot of growth and expansion there is too. So lots of cool different types of roles, project management. It could be even in the case management section, but also definitely with our electronic medical records. So that in itself kind of drives a lot of different, creative roles for folks that are IT and security space, as well as also those of you that, certainly like to be possibly a little bit on the patient side of things and medical billing, those roles. Honor Health will eventually pretty soon here be opening up another Pima Medical Center off of the 101 freeway, kind of in the talking stick, area right around in there. And it's going to be more specialized in, kind of your sports medicine, types of fields. So we're starting to do some partnership with athletic trainers and more therapists. So we're definitely an organization that keeps kind of growing as our population, certainly does too. So please feel free to reach out to me, and thank you very much all for your time today.
Awesome, Robin. That's exciting news. Thank you for sharing that with us today. Okay, we're going to move over to Jerry Gross. He is the Director of Operations for Benchmark. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. So Benchmark, for those, next slide, please. For those who aren't familiar with us, we are a electronics manufacturing and design engineering company. It was founded in 1979, so been around for quite some time, but just recently moved its headquarters in 2018 to the Tempe marketplace here in Tempe. We have 24 facilities across 8 countries. Some stats about the financials and the number of employees there. Next slide. Next slide, please. Oh, there we go. The site in particular we're sourcing for today is in Phoenix. It is off the Tannen University, and we focus on electronics manufacturing. So everything from aerospace and defense, complex industrial electronics, next-gen communications, even some advanced computing stuff. Some of the positions that we are currently in need of right now are listed on the screen there. With inspectors being one of our most critical fills, but as we're experiencing the level of growth that some of our panelists have already alluded to, we've got a lot of opportunities for both first and second shift in the manufacturing space. The QR code there will take you to our careers site. The website is bench.com/careers. So if you or anybody you know is interested in this kind of work, please reach out.
Fantastic. Good to see you. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
All right. So I'd like to bring in Mel Hunkapiller and Connor Rich. They're recruiters with Common Spirit and Dignity Health. Welcome, you guys.
Thanks, Jess. Thank you so much. Hi, guys. Good morning. My name's Connor Rich. Want to go over this slide real quick because Mel and I partner on, fortunately, a lot of things recently and our growth in Arizona specifically. So you guys might in the Arizona market see Dignity Health all over the place. We actually in 2019 merged with Catholic Health Initiatives, and we actually formed a new company called Common Spirit. So we're still in the transitionary period of changing some things around, but we are so excited to announce we are in 21 states across this good country, and we have tons of opportunities, both remote and in each individual state. Bree, next slide, please. So of course, being a hospital, we have tons of opportunities, both clinical and non-clinical. I'm going to cover some clinical opportunities that we do have, both entry level all the way up to licensed professionals and paraprofessionals. So a lot of our entry level non-licensed is a laboratory, a phlebotomist. All of these jobs that you see here on the left have flexible hours. A lot of times when they're full-time, they're not a 5-day a week. They are a 3-day a week or a 2-day a week. So it's a lot of opportunities for people looking to transition from a non-clinical to a clinical role or grow their opportunities. And I know that we have some exciting things as well that Mel's going to touch on that's a brand new opportunity. Mel, go ahead.
Great. Thanks, Connor. Thanks, everyone, for having us. I'm Mel Hunkapiller. I'm a recruiter with Common Spirit Health, and we are all about hello human kindness. And around in the Phoenix and Arizona area, I know you've probably seen this at some point. I'm a national recruiter, so I cover a lot of our corporate positions, and I do have some clinical as well, but mostly corporate across the US. And what I really want to concentrate on, since this is our Arizona market, is we have a virtual command center. So it's sort of cutting edge. It's across the street from our St. Joseph Hospital in downtown Phoenix. And it is a virtual command center. And we have 3 different positions: a connection specialist who take incoming calls for all of our hospitals, not just in Arizona, but California, Washington State, Kentucky, and we will continue to add. We also have virtual companion that monitor our patients and can connect and be the eyes for our patient caregivers on the ground in our hospitals. And then we also have cardiac monitor technicians that can monitor up to 60 patients at one time. So again, would be the eyes for a lot of our on the ground patient caregivers. We are super excited. It's incredibly cool. Again, it's 24/7. So we have different shifts. We have day shift, we have night shift. They're usually 12-hour shifts. That could be a 3-day work week. I know everybody might be excited about that. And we just have so many opportunities, and we would love to connect with you. So please come to our breakout sessions. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Lots of great stuff there at commonspirit.careers. Check them out. We have about 4 more companies to speak, and then we're going to move into the breakout sessions, which I know many of you are waiting for. And so we're going to move over to Sean Gallagher. He is a sales recruiter with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, everybody. As Jessica said, thanks so much for having me and for all you being here. I am representing Liberty Mutual Insurance and actually our outbound sales arm, which is called Comparion Insurance Agency. And so we are looking for a number of different sort of field sales candidates to join our team. In this role, you would be very entrepreneurial in building a book of business. So the type of candidate that is typically successful in this role would be someone that does have some form of outbound sales experience within their career background. So whether you have sold in real estate, if you sold dealerships, if you've sold SaaS products in different industries, things like that. Those are all industries where you would have very transferable skills. And so you would be using those skills to go out of the office to build relationships with referral partners. And those referral partners would ultimately be ones that could send you referrals of consumers that would be a good fit for you and your insurance business. So we do have the sales representative role that we are hiring for, where you are doing outbound sales activities. If you are someone that is interested in that kind of role, but maybe doesn't have the relationships or the industry knowledge yet, we also have a position called a sales associate, which is a role in which you would spend the first 18 to 24 months or so inside the office as an assistant to one of the sales reps, basically getting on the job training of how to build your book of business, how to understand what the products are and how to talk about them. And when you're ready to make that transition, you would go into your own sales representative role. So that's the sales associate is a really good position for those who may want to find themselves in outside sales, but perhaps aren't quite ready to take that leap yet. Another cool thing about working for Comparion Insurance Agency is that this role is W-2. A lot of insurance sales positions, if you've looked into it, are either 1099 or agency ownership. Those come with a number of difficulties in terms of profit and loss management, having to do your own taxes, having to own a lot of the things that do not increase and drive your sales. So in this role, you will be W-2 and walking into a fully built insurance agency so that you can focus all of your time and effort on earning commissions, which are uncapped, as well as the salary that you will have. We have an excellent benefits package for you to take advantage of as well. Next slide. So again, job openings all across Arizona at those offices. You can also visit our website there as well. And I will be in the breakout room to speak with anyone that may have an interest in insurance or outside sales. Thank you very much for the time.
Fantastic. Great overview. Thank you so much, Sean, for being here today. All right, we're going to move over to Jeff Savage. He is a talent acquisition specialist with Wilming. Hi, Jeff.
Hey guys, how are you today? Yes, I'm representing Wilming Construction today. We are the largest privately owned general contractor in Arizona. We've been in business since 1977. You can see on the screen top workplace awards, 12 in the past 5 years. And it is an amazing culture here and a total family feel. And that's why we receive these awards. 14 diverse market sectors that we build in, everything from aviation, healthcare, parks and recreation, industrial, just to name a few. Next slide, please. So we are hiring right now for operations managers, superintendents, project managers. We need a proposal coordinator. We need multiple estimators. That's probably our hottest ticket item right now. And we're also hiring for a chief of staff for our CEO, which is a brand new, exciting position here at Wilming. Next slide, please. Today, we're going to go without the QR codes, guys. I want to go old school. So if you are interested in commercial construction, please reach out to me directly. As you can see my information on the screen. And one more thing about Wilming. Wilming exists for people to find their genuine place of purpose. That is truly the hallmark of Wilming. That's what makes us successful. That's what makes us grow. It all comes down to the type of people we hire. We're looking for kind people, people who are humble, team players, and everyone works together here in a great way. So I would really promote that in our company. Thank you so much for having me today, guys.
Jeff, thanks for being here. Great job. Old school. I love it. All right, we're going to move over to Medtronic, and Peyton Gavlik is with us today.
Hi, Jessica. Sorry, I'm actually with the Arizona Department of Health Services.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one on my other screen. Sorry about that. Pam is next. But yes, Arizona Department of Health Services HR analyst. Thank you. Sorry about that. Go for it, Peyton.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so at the Arizona Department of Health Services and the Arizona State Hospital, our mission is to promote, protect, and improve the health and wellness of individuals and communities across the state of Arizona. Our vision is specifically focusing on the health and wellness for all Arizonans. We're comprised of 6 divisions: the Arizona State Hospital, Director's Office, Licensing, Planning and Operations, Preparedness, and Prevention. Some of our programs include disease prevention and control, health promotion, environmental health, Arizona State Hospital, emergency preparedness, community of public health, maternal and child health, licensing and surveying, as well as regulations of childcare centers, assisted living centers, other healthcare providers, and emergency services. As Anthony mentioned with DES, benefits include working with the state are truly amazing, including the Student Loan Assistance Program. I myself am taking advantage of this benefit currently. We also have hybrid and remote opportunities with a variety of shifts and flexible work schedules. Next slide, please. So as of this morning, we currently have 68 openings across the agency, including the Arizona State Hospital. If you're interested in applying or checking out some of the duties and responsibilities that some of our jobs entail, you can go to our job site at azstatejobs.gov, go to current openings, and go to the drop-down to filter out by Department of Health Services. You can click on the job that you're interested in, and it'll have the job summary, work location, job duties, some of the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you should have for the role. Then a selective preference section stating what background the right candidate will have and kind of bring to the role. If you're interested, of course, please apply. If you're interested in a role specifically with ASH, you can type in Arizona State Hospital and it will show all of the openings that we have ASH at the moment. Listed here, just a few of our current openings ranging from cosmetologist and barber, psychiatric nurse, behavioral health tech, rehab therapist, security officer, data analyst, psychiatrist, business analyst, and social worker. And then some of our openings at our downtown location are data architect, program administrator, procurement technician, licensing coordinator, public health scientist, community nutrition specialist, compliance officer, contract administrator, health program manager, and deputy administrator. And that is just to name about 20 out of our 68. Next slide, please. So if you have any other questions in relation to open positions, please feel free to reach out to myself or my colleague, Roberto Valenzuela. You can find him as a connection of mine on LinkedIn. I've also attached in the chat our job board and a link to my LinkedIn site. So let's connect, and I can't wait to see you guys in the breakout room.
Thank you so much, Peyton. Great job. Lots of great opportunities. And so take a look at what she just dropped in the chat, or also Peyton will be available for you during the breakout session here in a few moments. All right, now we're going to move over to our last company of the day, I believe. Oh, no, we do have one more. 2 more companies to go. So Pam Gu, she is a senior talent acquisition specialist for Medtronic.
Hi, everybody. Great to see so much participation today. Medtronic is the world's largest medical technology company you may have never heard of. And if you're lucky, you don't have one of our devices. But if you do need one, we make pacemakers, brain stimulators, and all kinds of other medical technology that are implantable and external. One of the great things that we've done recently is a teeny tiny little pacemaker. This is a quarter. This is the little pacemaker, and this is a leadless pacemaker that is inserted inside of the heart. So if you're interested in medical technology, we have a plant in Tempe, Arizona, where we make all of the microelectronics for our devices throughout the world. And the company is 95,000 people strong. About 46,000 of those are in the United States. We have remote positions. We have on-site positions in Tempe for assemblers, technicians, engineers, IT, supply chain. We have a lot of sales positions around the area regionally and in the Phoenix area. So go to our job site. It's right there. I'll also put it in chat. And next slide. You can reach out to me or my colleague, Carrie Green. Our information is there. And I also put my LinkedIn out there on the chat earlier. We have benefits that any major corporation would have. So pretty much anything that you've heard today, we also have. In fact, I am a beneficiary of the Medtronic tuition reimbursement program. I actually finished 2 degrees while I worked at Medtronic, and I've been with Medtronic for 22 years. A lot of people that work with us have been with the company a very long time. So if you're looking for a very stable kind of company, Medtronic is for you.
Fantastic. Love it. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to hear about the hiring that you're doing again. All right. Welcome, Maureen Dillman. She is with USAA as a talent acquisition director. Good to see you again, Maureen.
Thanks, Jessica. So good morning, team. So absolutely want to tell you a little bit about USAA. So we are a financial services company that actually was founded in 1922. We have over 30,000 employees. We do support the military and their families and dependents, but you don't need to be military to join USAA. We actually have lots of opportunities in numerous locations. So when you come and meet me in our breakout room, I'll go over some of the locations specifically for you. But primarily, we actually provide all financial services. So anywhere from life insurance, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, to all of our banking and investment company as well. So it's a lot of customer service, a lot of sales. There's entry level where we can pre-license you, take you all through the paid training that you need. A majority of our jobs are hybrid or on site. We've got a few remote ones that we can share in our breakout session as well. But we definitely have a very large campus on I-17 in Happy Valley that we are still growing. Next slide, I think. Some of the top jobs that we're looking for is in our customer service. These are primarily located in the Phoenix office today. That's what I was focusing on today. But like I said, come to the breakout rooms and let's talk about different opportunities, whether it's in our tech, our HR, our learning and delivery, or in our customer service supporting our members. USAAjobs.com is where you go directly to search for our openings and opportunities. We have a chat bot too, so feel free to ask her anything that you need regarding hours or on-site and locations. I'll have my contact information here as well. So meet with me in the breakout room and we'll definitely go through what your skill set is, what we have open on USAA Jobs, and how we can get you a connection and a fit.
Fantastic. Thanks, Maureen. I know you guys are doing some great hiring. So USAA is available and to talk to you in the breakout rooms as well. Okay, so that concludes all of our hiring companies and speakers today. I have a couple things I would like to share with you, and then we're going to go into the breakout rooms. So first of all, we are going to give away a $50 gift card right away. And then we're also we'll give one away now, and then we'll give another one away later in the day for anyone that completes our survey. So we work really hard to bring great information, great companies and speakers to these events, and we would love your feedback. And so Bree's our event director. She's going to drop in the chat right now a link to a survey. And so if you could click on that survey link, and it will take you out to a survey, a couple short questions. It'll probably take you 20 seconds. If you could click on that link, go take the survey, and then come back and type done. Then we're going to go ahead and give out a $50 gift card to somebody that's completed the survey. And somebody from my team is just going to text me a name here in a few minutes. And so go ahead and take that survey, click the link, and then come back in the chat and just type done so that we know. Oh, somebody clicked, populated for me. Let me see, done. Okay, so some people, there might be someone have an issue possibly. Okay, if you're still having an issue, let us know with the survey, but great. Thank you all for taking that. We will announce a winner in just a moment. While you take that. So a couple other resources that we have available for you is if you have never taken the DISC assessment, we offer that for free at no cost, and that will tell you a little bit about your behavioral style, some of your strengths, your ideal work environment. So feel free to go ahead and take that. You'll also get that link in the email that we're going to send you out in a little bit. We did record this call, so you probably saw when you came in that this call is being recorded. We will be sending the link out to the webinar today, later today, and usually today. It just takes some time with Zoom to upload it, but you will get this email with the link, and you can go back and watch any part of it that you would like. We don't send the PowerPoint, it's a huge file, but obviously we do send the webinar. We are all over social media, so we would love for you guys to connect with us there. All right, thank you all. Thank you all for, yes, the chat is not available. You cannot copy the chat. That was one of the questions somebody asked. That is for privacy's sake. People sometimes drop in stuff that they don't want out in the world. And so for security and privacy, we don't allow the chat to be copied. Okay, but you will get the webinar. And the links on that email, you will get links to every single job board that was featured here today. So the 17 or 19 companies that were represented in that email will have a link directly to their job board as well. All right, so somebody from, I got the name of a winner. So the $50 gift card goes to Terrell Handy. Terrell Handy, we are going to send you a text and say, hey, you're a winner of a $50 Amazon gift card. It is not spam, it's real. So respond to us, because then we're going to email you the gift card. You can use it whenever you would like. And so congrats, Terrell. All right. Now we are doing something new. This is the third thing I wanted to tell you guys about. You will see a press release come out about this as well in the next couple days, and it will also be updated on our website. But we have entered into a partnership with LearnKey, and it is a premier global training and education provider. And they have provided the Career Connectors, people going through Career Connectors with some online training. And they have both some free versions for the Career Connectors people, and then there are some paid versions as well. But as you can see, they are a premier training provider. They have a lot of online training videos, assessments, practice tests, getting you ready for different types of certifications, exam prep. They do everything through audio, also video, and then hands-on practice learning as well. And so we are super excited about this. And people that go through this training and get these certifications are twice as likely to be placed, which they've been able to show us through various data that they track. And so the free access that we have worked with them on is to get some cybersecurity training for how to protect yourself and your organization. And again, we heard this mentioned earlier today by Brian, and he also dropped in the chat a whole bunch of links as well that if you're interested in cybersecurity that you're going to want to take a look at. And so they're offering that one at no cost for 45 days. So if you are in career transition, these are the type of things you can be doing in the meantime while you're also searching for your next job. And then we had asked, hey, do you have a leadership, a soft skills type of training? And so this trust and credibility class is another one that they are offering to anyone going through the Career Connectors program at no cost. There is a ton of other opportunities that they have, but these are the two that we were able to get for free. So take a look at those programs. We'll include the link in the email that goes out later today. And we would love for you guys to go through this, give us some feedback on what you think, and we'll be able to do more stuff like this in the future. We also have the LearnKey team on the call today, and they will have a breakout. So please jump over to their room, ask questions, and they would be happy to walk you through. And they have certifications from every industry that we just talked about today. So they would be able to answer your questions there. So thank you, LearnKey. We are so honored and excited to be doing this with you. All right. Now, in the chat, you've probably seen a lot today from Best Companies AZ. They're answering a lot of questions. Many of the companies that are represented here today have won awards as a most admired company, a best company in Arizona, a Fortune 500 company, and so on. And so this organization works with these award-winning companies. And so Jenna, Denise, Carrie, they're on the line today, and they will have a breakout room, but they represent companies that are award-winning companies, and they help connect you to careers in these companies. And so you see on your screen right now a whole bunch of types of awards that the people that the companies that they work with have won: Fortune 100 and 500 DEI awards, certified great place to work. And so Denise is talking in the chat right now, and so is Carrie. You can click on their link to see all the types of companies that they work with and the jobs that they have. And so here's some of the representation of the companies that they work with. And so they would love to talk to you as well. They'll be in the breakout room and available, and they can help prep you on when you're applying for these different companies, what to look for, what to do. And so that's available to you. All right, so as far as moving forward, we have a couple really cool events coming up. We have one specific to the transportation, warehousing, and supply chain industry. That is a hiring event on Tuesday. So we have some companies there that are hiring that will be featuring their jobs and how to apply. You'll be able to, again, talk to recruiters at that event. And that is virtual. We have a really cool event, another one of our signature events, and this is Red Hot Resumes. And this is a panel of resume professionals experts that are going to be taking your resume questions. And that's on Thursday, September 7th. It is a virtual event. At those events, monthly, we have events that are all content and coaching, and we'll have LinkedIn coaches, resume writers. Oh yes, Robert, sorry, I'm reading the chat. Correct, Robert, that's Tuesday, August 29th. Today's the 24th. So Tuesday, August 29th is that virtual event. And then Thursday, September 7th is the Red Hot Resume panel. And then Thursday, September 28th, we have, if you are local to the Phoenix area, we have a Career Expo in Avondale, which is kind of West Valley, and it will be in person. And so many companies are hiring at that event. And then right after that, we have an event called on October 5th. It's another one of our events that is one of our more signature events. It's all about LinkedIn. So we're doing resumes in September. We're doing LinkedIn in October, but also we're going to be talking with Robert Garcia is coming in from OEO, which is Office of Economic Opportunity in Arizona, and he's going to talk about how to connect with these trending companies that are hiring. So, oh my gosh, so much stuff today. If you did complete the survey and you're not Terrell, then we are giving away one more gift card, and we are going to give that away later today. So one of you will receive a text as well. We just want to allow anyone else that needs to complete it time to complete it. All right, now we're going to move into the breakout session. And so we're going to launch breakout sessions, and Bree's going to walk us through that, and you're going to be able to connect directly with hiring companies. And so I just want you all to know that we are so glad you're here. I don't know if you're here because you just went through a layoff, or you're just thinking about your next step, or you're just not sure what's in the future. You're in the right place. I'm glad you were here today. And I want you all to know that we are praying for you, that you land into the career of your dreams. Thanks so much for being here. Bree, take it away.
All right, I'm just going to quickly go over how to get into a breakout room. So what you're going to do is just in a second, when I open up all the breakout rooms, you'll be able to see that feature in your toolbar. You're going to click on breakout rooms. And you'll see a list of all 21 or 22 breakout rooms. So it's from all the companies you've heard from today. It's from all of just everyone that has a breakout room today. So there's a lot. You're going to hover over to the right and click join, and it'll take you directly into that company's breakout room. If you ever want to come back to the main session, you will do the same thing, pull up breakout rooms and go back to the main Zoom session. So I'm opening all the rooms right now. If anyone has any issues getting into a breakout room, just let us know in the chat and we can manually move you in there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bree. We have many breakout rooms, 21 breakout rooms. And so if you do go into a room and it's very full, you can go to a different room and pop back into that room. So you can go in and out of rooms. It's no problem. So check on the bottom of your screen, there is an icon that says breakout rooms. Click that icon, and then there will be, when it opens up, you may have to scroll down, but when it opens up, there'll be a blue join button for the room you want to go into. And so see if you can find that. If you have any problems with it, just drop in the chat where you want to go, or you can unmute yourself too. But if you drop in the chat, then it's easier for us to see your name and help get you to the right room. So you can just drop in the chat where you want to go, who you want to talk to, and we will send you there.